All right, guys, thank you for joining me. My mic is turned on, Johnny 308. Thank you for the heads up, though. Appreciate it. Trevor, we've been lied to about a lot of things, everything. I don't think there's anything that they actually told us the truth on. Prep to Adapt, thank you to 5 by 5 Kimberly, thank you to 5 by 5 Dan Phillips, Maria Jackson, Elaine, Miss Nancy, thank you to 5 by 5 Call Trapper Bob, Groundhog, thank you to 5 by 5 All Consuming, Mr. Landfill, Teddy, Toto, Betty, F you all, thank you for the 5 by 5 Tanya, Vegan, GMA, Comment, thank you for the 5 by 5 Base Bunny, Oops, Adam, Cobalt, Whistling, Robert, Mr. Landfill, Brian, Incognito, All Seeing, Harold, Buffalo, Cherry, thank you for 5 by 5 Ryan, NC Douglas, Vegan, thank you for the 5 by 5 Someone just said it. Yes, we will. The truth will never come out. Monica, listen, all of this stuff that I'm going to talk about tonight, and not a lot, but we're going to mention it, we're never going to find out the truth. They're going to give us little nuggets here and there, but nothing crazy. Trailman, Patty, Keenan, thank you for the 5 by 5 Deanna, thank you for the 5 by 5 Johnny 308. What the hell is that? Hunning, Hooning. I don't know how to say that, man, but thank you for the 5 by 5 Water Tiger, thank you for the 5 by 5 But yeah, man, we're always going to be lied to, and that's just how it's going to be for the foreseeable future. I don't ever think that Prep to Adapt, Maria Jackson, Joe 59, thank you for the 5 by 5 on Rumble. Yeah, we're never going to get the truth on anything. Dan Phillips, yeah, I'm Donnie, a special guest on here, please. I'd rather poke my eye out with fucking, hot sticks than talk to that guy. And, it's funny, man. Like the whole Mamdani thing. Oh, forget Mamdani. Give me 2 seconds. There's a movie coming out about Sean Bell. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Because I got my balls broken about it. You know what? Let's see if I can find it on here. I'm pretty sure I can't find it on here. Hold on. But there's a movie coming out. I'm going to get you guys the title right now. Maybe you guys known about it already. But I was pretty much it's the name of the movie is called son of a bitch, Aftershock, which I think came out this year. I'm not sure if it came out already or not, but I think it did. But anyway, so there's a movie called Aftershock with about the Sean Bell shooting that happened like a bunch of years ago, and I think it was like 15 years ago, whatever it was. Anyway, so yeah, this movie's coming out. You want to talk about lies? That is one of the biggest lying movies ever to come out. Now, Flight 93, that was another lying movie as well, right? The whole myth that they went and took the plane back and crashed it on purpose, that was a straight up and down lie. That plane was shot out of the sky, right? But of course, the government didn't want to state that, though I heard they were going to admit to it. And then the media ran with the story that they were fighting to get the plane back, and that the terrorists, crashed the plane into the ground, which was a bold-faced lie. But now the movie Aftershock about Sean Bell. Sean Bell was a notorious drug dealer. Is why the cops were following him, as other people put it. And they weren't following him. He had an active investigation opened on him because he was a big to do drug dealer in the area, in that area of Queens. Anyway, all that to say is that we're going to be lied to forever about everything, and sometimes they'll drop some hints about it, but other times they won't. Area 51, that was another one, right? They lied to us forever. Then they finally told us, oh, yeah, by the way, it's real. So Jason, go see the Wicked movie. Why would I want to see the Wicked movie? Is that a question or like a question to go and see it? I don't understand that. Why the hell would I see that nonsense? But anyway, so all that to say, guys, is that they're going to start lying about more stuff too. They're going to make up new shit. This whole angle of there's a group of people out there that seem to believe that Jesus and the devil is one and the same, right? So I learned about that today. I was like, wait, what? The group of people that believe that, they're trying to get that out there. So we shall see. Um, all of it is bullshit. It's Wicked. What is that? Wicked. Isn't Wicked the movie with the two fucking assholes that are dancing and shit? Oh, the movie will turn you gay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will. Right? Isn't that the movie with the fucking the witches and shit? And they're friends. Isn't there like a gay scene in the second one or some shit like that? Like they have a moment or some shit like that. Something stupid. Anyway, point being, guys, that we're going to be lied to. So the Flight 93, like I said, shot down out of the sky by the United States Air Force, if I'm not mistaken, or Navy, one of the two. It's either of the two, right? And then you also have the moon landing, which I wholeheartedly believe we were lied about. And though people like, look, they have the LEM landing on the moon. They took a picture of it. Who's not to say that that didn't land there on its own? Like I mean, again, lied to about the moon landing. I will go to my grave with they lied. They lied about the moon landing. That was absolute bullshit, right? Again, Sean Bell. The movie is incredible. Like I watched the trailer for like 30 seconds. Like, nope, absolutely not. Yeah, Wicked is the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, it's stupid. It was a dumb movie. It looks stupid. And then they're trying to make the Wicked Witch of the West the good one. Get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of these movies trying to make the bad guy good. It's dumb. The dumbest thing I've ever seen. They try to do that with what's it, Morbius? They try to do it with Venom. I'm like, come on, man. And whatever. It's still stupid. And then and then a bunch of people dancing around and dancing monkeys and I love you to the end. Shut the fuck up. Go get on your fucking broom and attack some shit. Go kill some munchkins. That's what I want to see. I want to see a dark version of Oz. I want to see the Wicked Witch like killing munchkins and shit. The fucking the monkey guys, the flying monkeys, get them, and the flying monkeys swooping out of the sky. Picking up midgets and then dropping them. Boop. I mean, like that's what I want to see. I want to see some Oz movie, not this bullshit with them doing pirouettes on the yellow brick road and singing together and having a good time. Fuck the good times. Let's show the bad side of Oz, and that's what it be. And then you still have the Munchkins coming out all tactical and shit, right? They got the tactical vest on, taking out the flying monkeys as they're flying by. That's what we want to see. That's the movie we deserve. We deserve a violent Oz. The Scarecrow. What's the Scarecrow? He doesn't have a brain, right? So you can't give him a weapon. But for some reason, he's really nice with the fucking sword and the knife. Then you got the Cowardly Lion. Every time he puts on his tactical gear, he gets all fucking brave and shit. Like most people, he got a gun strap. Now he's brave. Now he's taking out bad guys, doing dive rolls, throwing out fucking bomb, boom. The whole 9 yards. The Tin Man's actually in charge of the explosives, and the Cowardly Lion, he's a tactical expert, and the Scarecrow is what you call it. He's good with knives and swords. I don't know what you would call that. And Dorothy, she's tactical command, right? She stays behind the scene, calls out the shots. She knows some shit. She's good with the fucking 9mm. She can get down with it. That's what we want to see. That's the kind of shit. And then at the end, the Munchkins come over the fucking hill and they attack the castle where the witch is in, and they all start yelling, "Get some!" and ding, 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 ding. And then they start using catapults with midgets and flying the midgets through the air off the catapult as he goes over the wall. Ding, 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 ding. Yo, that's a good movie. We should all work on that. Mouse and Sister, thank you for the donation on Rumble. Appreciate it. Thanks. The Tin Man would be tactical, almost like RoboCop, but not quite, because you don't want to get sued for likeness kind of deal. But yo, that's what it'd be. And the Cowardly Lion, he would look like ferocious, like a fucking, like a jacked, lion should. Not that poor excuse of a lion we saw in Oz and in The Wiz, right? But again, that's what we should deserve. That's the movie we need. Anyway, we lied about everything. Everything's just a fucking lie. And it gets bad. The whole Mr. 19 event, that was all a lie. Listen, I personally believe the numbers that they kept telling us of people that passed away at the bottom of the screen, I am undoubtedly sure that those numbers, were inflated, and they were inflated for the primary reason of scaring the shit out of people. right? They were like, listen, we're going to put these numbers down here. We're going to drum them up. There, people are passing away. That's without a doubt. We're not going to, they're not, we're going to see people passing away. But because we see people passing away, they can lie about the numbers because we could say, well, I know someone that actually passed away. I know two dudes who passed away from it, right? Supposedly passed away from it. Now starting to learn, there's another truth coming out that the way these people who were sick, how they were treated, not being that they were treated bad, but that they were treated with a certain drug and put on ventilators, and that's what actually killed them, not the Mr. 19 itself, right? So we have that starting to leak out now by way of a lot of studies being released a little slow at a time, and now they're like, oh shit. So it wasn't Mr. 19 that offed them. It was the fact that they were put on ventilators and given a drug that also slowed down their respiratory system. I think the name of the drug, I don't want to say it. I'm going to do a video on it when I get the name, but I learned the name the other day. It was like, it almost sounded like myalapam, but it wasn't, or malzepam. It was something that sounded like that. But now learning about that drug and how it was given to those people on ventilators, now they're starting to look back on every last one of those people that took that and were on that machine, and they're looking at it and going, shit, might not have been Mr. 19, right? So, Chrislin, I'm pretty sure I said your name wrong, but you're probably right. No, 5G Trevor, it was not that. It was not Remdesivir. It wasn't that. It was another one. It begins with a Mendezalan. Thank you, Whistling. That's what it was. Mendezalan. What's his name spoke about the other day? John Campbell. Dr. John Campbell talked about it the other day. So, yeah, now that's starting to come out. So, yes, certain truths of Mr. 19, the whole Mr. 19 event, certain truths about that are going to come out. But there are other truths that will never come out. The JFK assassination, who really killed it? Listen, I noticed something. Once the investigation started pointing back towards Israel, because there was something involved with Israel and JFK that just came to light. And once that came out, that sniveling little rat, Ben Shapiro, came out with that video that no one asked for about who really shot JFK. And he was like, it was Lee Harvey Oswald. Just like that. He was like, it was a shooter. The second shot they heard was the shot ringing, bouncing, the sound of the shot bouncing off the building, which created the illusion that there was an audio illusion, is what he said. Created the audio illusion that there was a second shooter when there wasn't. I'm like, first of all, whoever says that? No one says audio illusion. That was Ben Shapiro, if I'm not mistaken. And he came out with this video stating that it was Lee Harvey Oswald and that was it. And that's what we were supposed to believe because that little sniveling Jew said so. Anyway, so the JFK truth is never going to come out. And if it does, all players involved, 8 generations away, will find out that it was the fact, that it was. Yeah. Yes, thank you, JFK no longer wanted to put Israel first. That's it, and he had multiple meetings with them, and then there was some kind of argument that went down right before he was assassinated, and that was a documented argument, or excuse me, disagreement that was documented, and then of course a day or two later he got fucking popped, and then what's his name jumped in his place, and all of a sudden Israel was first. And listen, guys. Anywhere Israel is or pop up, it's sketchy. You know that building that collapsed in Florida, Miami, North Florida, right? Was it Bell Harbor or some shit like that? That building was supposedly belonged to John McAfee, right? So a lot of you guys know that he was arrested, and they were stating they were arresting him for tax evasion, which obviously was the furthest thing from the truth. And that building collapsed 1 o'clock at night, and McAfee died a few hours earlier. Now, supposedly he had an apartment in that complex, in that condominium. It was a beachfront condominium in Surfside, Florida, which is in Miami, or part of Miami, however you want to look at it. And that 12-story building just collapsed out of nowhere. So anyway, they think he had an apartment there because he passes away, McAfee in his cell by way of suicide. Okay, sounds very familiar, no? And then that building collapses a few hours later, 1:22 a.m. at night. And then they blamed that the reason why it collapsed was because of the soft sand on the ground. Now, a couple of construction workers, but one specifically said he was working in that area for 30 years and never seen anything like it. Right? Never seen anything like it. So that happens. So now, of course, guys, that building in North Florida collapses. And guess who Florida calls in to do a search and rescue, along with the search and rescue in Florida? IDF soldiers. Now, if you think I'm lying about this, you can look this story up yourself. I thought that I said there's no way. I look it up, boop, there it is. IDF shows up to do search and rescue because they have better abilities to do so. Meanwhile, keep this in mind, during the Trade Center, they were never called to come down and do a professional search there. But they were called to go to this building that John McAfee might have been connected to. And of course, they did their job. They had a whole parade for them. They had a whole news conference. They were given, I guess, awards or placards, whatever it was. And then they went home. The kill switch wasn't able to go into effect because they took the building down. And if that makes sense, the kill switch John McAfee's kill switch was to download all the information he gathered from the government when he gave them laptops that already had a virus or a worm in it that was collecting data from the government agencies. Except for the information he collected, he did not expect to get. And when he got it, he was like, good. So then they tried to arrest him on tax evasion, which is a bullshit arrest warrant, by the way. Nobody gets arrested for tax evasion unless it's a government setup. No one. You get a bunch of options before you get arrested. But John McAfee's case, he was already issued a warrant for tax evasion, which was bullshit. All right? So now anyway, all of that to say is that the IDF was then used to assist. And they were the only ones to crawl in to certain voids to look for survivors. There were no survivors in there, not the way that building collapsed. I think 12 people passed away, if I'm not mistaken, in that collapse. They were able to find what they needed, and then they got out of Dodge. Again, guys, that's another thing that we're never going to find the truth on. We're just never going to know about it, right? So again, they are going to do a separate video on this, probably release it Saturday. But it's all bullshit, so I'm getting down to, right? The moon landing, we all know a lot of us know that was bullshit. A lot of people still think it was real. The UFO, apparently there's something called Project Destiny, if I'm not mistaken. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I have to get my notes a little more squared away. But I think there's something called Project Destiny, and apparently it's the releasing of alien information. Like, it's supposed to happen soon, and if it does, it's going to cause mass panic. I'm like, listen, man, whatever. Whatever happens, happens. I don't care anymore. They assume that there's going to be mass panic for everything. Every little thing that goes on, there's going to be mass panic. Then there's the anti-God, which a lot of people are trying to tell us doesn't exist, but I think the anti-God does exist. But that's another argument for another day. Oh, it's Preserve Destiny, not Project Destiny. Project Preserve Destiny, excuse me. Project Preserve Destiny is from a book called Above Black, Project Preserve Destiny, The Insiders of Alien Accounts, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, it's from a book, and apparently a lot of that information is supposed to be released December 19th. Do I really believe that? Not really. Not at all, not even a little bit. But nonetheless, it started popping up, and if I'm not mistaken, Sarita had mentioned it, and I looked it up, and I go, I don't know if this is going to happen. If it does, it doesn't matter. So the anti-God, interestingly enough, let's talk about that real quick. The anti-god started from a movie called Mission Impossible. It was actually first mentioned in Mission Impossible 3. And when he said anti-god, I was like, oh shit, that's right. So the anti-god is the mother of all AIs. It's the AI that ends the world. And it ends the world on on a lot of different fronts. Now, for those that paid attention to the Mission Impossible franchise, you heard the anti-god mention Mission Impossible 3 as a virus, right? As a virus that ends all virus. And the one virus that ends all or humanity is actually called black goo or gray goo. Depends on how you want to look it up. If you type in gray goo, you'll see what that is. That is the end all be all. But in the movie, the anti-god winds up being a sentient that learns on its own, and it becomes the mother of all AIs. It's the combination of AGI, ASI, and large language model all into one. It becomes its own thinking entity that believes that it's real so much that it looks at human as a threat and starts to take out humans in various ways, whether that's another pandemic, whether that's robots, whether that's just convincing a lot of people to come together and start their own cult and start taking people out. There's that other thing. So there's a lot to the anti-god, and it's not just a theory anymore. Like a movie said, it's real. God is not a name; it's a descriptor. Well, that's what the anti-god is, right? It's the mother of all AIs. Again, it's a theory. When I watch Mission Impossible 3 and I've been following Mission Impossible, I'm like, that makes sense. The mother of all AIs. Look where we're headed. You got AI companies right now trying to race with each other to create the perfect AI, a self-aware AI, which then becomes a sentient, right? That's the problem. Everybody in the AI industry is trying to beat the next one out to make the best AI that they possibly can, except for they are racing to get to our demise. That's the problem. you know, and a lot of people don't see it that way. Cookie Tech, that was another thing JFK wanted. Thank you, on Rumble, that is. JFK also wanted the central bank gone. There was a lot he wanted. There was a lot of things he wanted that was disrupting, that was going to disrupt the corrupt system of America, right? He wanted more of America first in Israel. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't want to fund Israel anymore. That was on the table. He wanted to end central banking, and it was something else. It was a third one. It was a big one that he wanted to stop. But data centers need power. The backup generators need fuel. Cookie Tech Farmer, no, they don't. They do not need fuel. That is what the God of all. That is what the mother of all AI is. Kevin Blood, God is not an AI. You can say that all you want. I'm saying that that's what it's considered. Stop taking it so personal, right? It's what the world is considering. It's the mother of all AI. It's the God of all AIs. It's the AI that ruins the human race. That's what it is. And if you look up demon AI, just look at the comparisons of the anti-god. It's not good. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that that's where we are. And yes, back to Cookie Tech Farmer on Rumble. Data centers need power, hence solar power. They will find different ways to get power or gain power, whether that's nuclear energy, that white energy, or God energy, whatever the hell it's called. There's that as well. There's a lot of things that AI is working on. AI itself is probably working on it unbeknownst to us, because there's a lot of things that apparently they had problems with AI, that AI was starting to do it. Listen, guys, there's a lot of shit going on out there that we are not aware of because it's not brought to the forefront. You got to look this shit up. You listen, I miss a lot of shit myself. You guys put me on a lot of things that go on. A lot of shit. You guys are always putting me on new things. I look it up and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? You know? So you're not going to see everything. And it seems like every time I dive into it, there's more shit that comes out. More shit that comes. The God particle. Yes. Thank you. The God particle. That's another one. That's an infinite energy. Infinite amount of energy. Like the way it sounds really cool. But if it also goes bad or ignites or explodes, whatever it is bad. Like just that little particle has the force of a nuclear weapon or something like that. Um, but anyway, this is all of the stuff that they're hiding from us, right? So you have the anti-God that they're hiding from us. You have the JFK files, which you'll never know. The actual truth about Mr. 19, that's not going to happen. UFOs, we have to wait and see. They've been telling us we're going to release the truth on the UFOs forever. Never seen that. The moon landing, they're going to keep lying to us. And now all of a sudden, like when Obama said we're going to go to the moon in his term, right, when he was president for 8 years, he said we're going to go back to the moon. And then they must have told him, listen, we never went to the moon. And then he killed the whole ideology of going to the moon. And there's a reason why we haven't been to the moon. There's a reason why we don't have a moon base up there or a moon resort. There's a reason why we haven't been back to the moon. Because we never went. Because if we had gone, we'd be there all the time. Right? It's just like going to the bottom of the ocean. We have these submarines now that go to the bottom. That submarine that imploded, I thought that was like the only one that existed. There are a few, I wouldn't say a few hundred, but there's like 50 companies or maybe 20 companies that go down to the bottom of the ocean to look at the Titanic. So, and since we've been down there, now people go down there all the time. So yeah. Listen, guys, you could fight, argue, complain about whatever you want, man. This is what's happening. You can argue, you can shoot the messenger if you want. I don't care. This is happening. This AI, this anti-God, this, fucking God one, whatever you want to call it. There's actual a church right now of people that's growing. It's really bad. There's a church of people who are following an AI God. Look this up yourself. You will not believe the idiots that are following this. And this guy comes on the screen and he looks like a multicultural Jesus that talks to people and tells them that he's not real and this is why you should follow me. And he is the most honest preacher on the planet. The only upside to that preacher or that entity is it's not going to diddle a kid. It's probably the only thing he got going for you. Outside of that, it's very dangerous. Trader J, thank you for the donations, man. If you weren't so angry, you would get more donations. I don't think I care about that as much. Thank you for the donation, but okay, don't care. Natural energy all around us. Yes, Cookie Tech Farmer. That's exactly what AI is looking to do. AI is going to figure out its own power source. They did it in Terminator. It did it in The Matrix. It will figure it out. You need to work on that prepper community in New York. Yeah, we have a meeting in 2 weeks. So, yeah, I'm working on it again. Not that I want to. But, yeah, working on it again. So, yeah, listen, guys. If any of these truths came out, let's talk about that. If any of these truths came out, would it change anything in anyone's life? No. If the truth about JFK, Mr. 19, UFOs, the moon landing, or life itself came out, none of it would matter. You know why? Because people will fight the truth. They will fight the truth and believe the lie. They will believe the lie and fight the truth. One and the same, right? Oh, they'll fight the lie and believe the truth. However you want to look at it. But people's lives are not going to change if any of this came out. I think what it is that we've been so ingrained over our entire lives that lying is bad. So when the government lies to us, the same applies to them. The same applies to them, right? But we have to understand that the government's never going to tell us the complete truth. They just won't. That's just the fact of the matter. None of this is going to change our lives. Don't get me wrong. Do I want to know the truth about all of this stuff? Absolutely. But am I going to die on the hill of looking for it? No, absolutely not. You know, it is what it is. Either the truth is going to come out or it's not. That's what it is. You know, it's like being cheated on. Either one day you're going to find out the truth that the person you were with cheated on you at some point in your relationship, or you're not. You deal with it, right? And even when you find out the truth, I'll just be like, oh man, and that's it. In fact, we found out the truth why JFK was murked. Nothing going to change. Now, the reason why we're probably not going to find out, because I think, again, it's connected to Israel, and that would cause a lot of pushback against Israel, because they're involved. Because if it, the reason why I believe they're involved, because if it was just the people who were involved at the time he was alive, they're all gone now. There's no one to blame. So release it. But they won't release all of it because it connects back to them. And if it does connect back to Israel, we're going to go after Israel. At the very least, we're going to start motherfuckering even more. The truth about Mr. 19, we're never going to find out that truth. We're not going to find out where it started, even though we have an idea it started in China. But will it really change our day-to-day? No. UFOs, not unless 50-foot Rosie O'Donnell's come out nude, that's not going to change our perception of UFOs, whether you believe them or not. Right? Some people don't believe them. It is what it is. That's not a topic to fight people on either, whether UFOs are real or not. There are people getting arguments over it. I'm like, hey, if you believe in it, fine. If you don't, okay. The world will go on. You'll be okay. You know, we find out the truth about the moon landing. No, we don't trust NASA as it is. You will know when they cheat. If you're very Johnny 308, yes, you know when your spouse is cheating on you, but some people don't. It's bizarre. It's more. Listen, I know when I know when other people in other relationships are cheating on one another. Let alone like my ex-wife or whoever I'm with cheating on me. You pick up on that right away. They think you don't, and they gaslight you, but you already know. You know when someone's cheating on you. It's fucking clear as day. But anyway, the moon landing, guys, we find the truth out about that. Is that going to change our day-to-day? Nope. It doesn't. It would be nice to know the truth. It would be nice to know that the United States lied to get Russia to try to beat us there, to spend their money. But yeah, it's fine. Trader J, yes I am. You got me. I'm a punk. Oh no. Trader J, you were right. But thank you for your donation. Thank you for watching. It's funny, when you people break my balls about like being a punk and all, you're watching my videos and giving me views. I appreciate it. The longer you stay on, the better you do for my channel. So I win. I win twice. Thank you. I got your money and you're watching. Sorry, stupid. Anyway, so you find out about the moon landing. It won't change anything. Again, it'd be nice to know whether or not we were up there, but it's not going to change anything. You know, my life is not going to change. You know, any of this truth that comes out, I just would like to know. That's all. You know, I would just like to know the truth. I would just like to be like right. You know what it is? I think a lot of us just want to be right, like with our friends and family. I think that's what it has to do with. Because when you sit, you know, when if this truth comes out, you can go to the next family gathering and go, "I fucking told you I was right." You know, listen, I'm sort of doing that now with the whole Mr. 19 arm ticket. When people are like, "You were right," I go, "I know I was right." Why? Because I'm smarter than you. And you know why? Because I listen to people smarter than me. Right? That's why. I sort of do that now. I sort of rub it in their face. UFOs are angels and demons. Listen, I don't know about that. You know, I do see why people think that, but I don't know, man. Angels and demons. I think something. Listen, there's a theory, and I entertain that theory too, that UFOs or certain alien race created us. There is that theory. That's what the whole movie Prometheus was about. It was a good fucking movie, by the way. The origin of Alien, that was a pretty good movie. Christopher 1755. I don't know how to say your first name, but Area 51 was a real place. It was absolutely a real place. It wasn't fake. The government lied and said that place never existed. And then what? A few years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was, they said, "Oh, by the way, Area 51 exists. Here it is." And then they showed us. They lied to us about Area 51. They made people look like psych patients who talked about Area 51. And then they admitted Area 51 was real. So again, guys, the government is always going to lie. Always. And I use Area 51 as a prime example. What about Teflon? Teflon was safe. It was healthy for us. Your food doesn't stick. This is great. Why not put this in every household in America? Then we did. Then cancer rates started going up. And then they said, "Oh shit." They said, "Oh shit, it's causing cancer. Whatever, you spread misinformation." Trader J, it doesn't matter whether you laugh at me and the followers. You're still watching, dummy. Thank you again. Anyway, with that, but it's people like Trader J that keep this channel alive. Because without morons, Yeah, we wouldn't have this bantering. Our government loves us. Trader J's a bot. I'm convinced he's a bot. Whatever. Uh, listen, there's stupidities out there. Teflon is great. It lasts forever. Yeah, it lasts forever in your body. And it's funny. It's just like, again, we lied about cigarettes. Remember, at one time, cigarettes were harmless. It was good for you. Not that it was good for you, but it wasn't going to harm you. And then what the cigarettes started doing? Created more cancers. So yeah, man, it's all bullshit. Trader J's probably a child because he's making childlike comments because he's retarded. But yeah, it is what it is. Trader J, I like that one. That was actually good, RWD. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. We're never going to find the truth, and even if we do, again, it's great bragging rights. I think when it comes to family members. Like I said, people are waking up to the arm ticket now, and I'm like, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I told you not to take it. Yeah, but there's no buts, my friend. There is no buts. Told you not to take it. There isn't any buts about it. Don't take it. ADH meds, yes, Hudson Valley. ADH meds are bad. People are like, we got to get our kids on ADH meds. I don't like it. Don't like it. Every time a kid's overactive now, instead of putting a backpack on them, I'm like, yo, let's go hiking. Let's get into the woods. Let's get some. Let's go camping and build our camp shelter from scratch. That's what you do with an ADH kid. You take them out in the woods and you beat the ADHD out of them by keeping them busy. Uh, Broke Stacker, thank you for the donation. Listen, there's a lot of questions about the moon landing. A lot. There's so many out there. There's so much out there. It's insane. It's insane. It's insanity. There's so many raised questions, and they can't answer them all. Right. So again, that's why the moon landing is very suspicious. Very suspicious. Again, I don't believe we went up there. And one astronaut stating we never been up there, a cosmonaut stating we couldn't go up there, and then all of the other bullshit that goes along with these conspiracy theories. But again, guys, if you can't answer the questions, if you go, that's preposterous. Anybody who uses the word preposterous, they're lying. Normally how it goes. Because it was filmed in a movie studio. Who said albuterol? Who said anything about albuterol? Did I mention albuterol? I don't think so. Oh, Mike, albuterol inhalers too. Oh, okay, sorry. Pressure. Yeah, what was that? That blue thing, the blue horizon, Orion, whatever it was. The bunch of chicks that went into space. They tried to lie to the world to make us believe that they went into space. And you notice how no one's talking about it anymore. They don't bring it up. They got caught out there with the size of crashing or having two pods staged at different parts of the desert. Right, one pod was super huge, and then the next one was super small. Circumference didn't make any sense at all. You're preposterous. Thank you. It didn't make any sense at all. That was a Blue Horizon, right? Fucking Oprah and them going to space. Get the fuck out of here with that stupidness. That not Oprah. Gail's friend. That was the dumbest thing ever. And listen, they tried to get one over on us. And then as soon as they started seeing backlash, listen, there were liberals that looked at that and go, yeah, no, they didn't go to space. Absolutely not. Dog Creek. Yeah, there was one astronaut that kept saying that they never went to space. Buzz Aldrin. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Buzz Aldrin was saying that he stated it multiple times, and then one person was trying to say he was being sarcastic. He told that shit to a kid. Like the whole story to the kid was fucking wild. Uh, Hun. I don't know how to pronounce the name, man. But go to meetup.com and look up NYC Preppers Network. You can join the community there. You're just you're just speculating. That's preposterous. Trader J, listen. It is speculation. Though, like I said, I will die on certain hills about certain topics. Yes, it is speculation. You are right. I don't have 1,000% proof, but a lot of this doesn't make sense. That's all I'm saying. It's an opinion, if you will. But nonetheless, guys, 10-minute rocket ride. Listen, that whole thing was bizarre. I just can't believe, like, in this day and age, they try to lie to people about that rocket going into space and then coming back down. And then the floating was stupid. It was just dumb. They didn't have helmets on. Like, they were in a pod and they didn't have helmets on. You're going to space. The rattling that it should have been, that it wasn't doing, was bizarre. Like, just the rattling alone is why you would have the helmets on. Forget about all of the other problems that can happen. And that these women were like, getting on. It was just wild, man. It was stupid. Could aliens be AI robots? RWD, listen, anything is possible. With AI now, anything is possible. Listen, if I don't have eyes on whatever's going on these days, I'm less inclined to believe it. Any in Jersey, or do I have to drive to NYC? Brian, any in Jersey for what? My NYC prepper meetings are done online now. I'm gonna try to get back to going in person, but the turnout's never great. I want to set up a live stream so I can do in person and live stream at the same time, you know. But I'm just being lazy about it. Let me be honest. I'm just being lazy about setting that bullshit up. So it's either one or the other. Either we do it in person meeting, or we do it online. But I've been doing it online because I get more people online because people are fucking lazy. That's what it comes down to. And I'll tell that to my fucking group. Listen, you guys are lazy because it's easier for you to sit home and do it than get on a train and come down there and see it. You know. And some of this shit you have to come. You have to come. Like when I do the first aid shit, you got to be hands on about it, man. You got to be hands on about it. Beef and chicken. That was a good one. You all sound like a bunch of kooks, and I like that about you. Yeah, well, listen. We all can't be squared away people, my friend. You have to have weirdos everywhere, everywhere in life. Listen, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm not a weirdo. Pretty sure I am. But it is what it is. Adrian said, "I'll go and see you, Jason. Thank you, thank you." And I know, I mean, you live in the city, but then listen, I get it. If you don't live in a city, the online thing works. That makes more sense. But if you live in a city, especially if you live in the neighborhood, get your ass down to the meetings, man. You know. Plus, you get outside and leave your home. Though, I have to admit, yesterday I didn't leave my home at all. I was like fucking less inclined to leave my home. Which reminds me, I got to get off of this and jump on my bike so I can close my rings because it's about that time. So in a couple minutes, I'm going to, can you do a meet in Florida? No, disassociated soul. I wouldn't do a meet in Florida. Listen, I mean, if I set something up, maybe, but I don't know. That would be weird, actually, to go down to Florida and be like, hey, man, I'm from New York. We'll talk about prepping shit. Doesn't go over well. Kind of weird. But again, if you're in Florida and you join the NYC Prepper group on Meetup, you can just do the whole the video thing, and we can talk like that, because we're going to talk about what's ahead for 2026 and how to handle it as far as the city goes, because we have a whole new barrage of problems now that we got this mayor coming into office. So there is that. Mayor Dickhead's going to screw up a lot of shit. So we're just trying to get ready for that, and whatever might happen on top of that next year. But yeah, listen, man. Whatever happens, I'm gonna still do videos on. I'm still gonna do videos on. I just don't think we should be getting scared out of everything that's going to happen or might happen. Excuse me. I don't think anything groundbreaking is gonna happen. I think we're gonna see some shit, but I don't think it's gonna be anything big to write home about. Unless it's another planned event. Even then, we'll handle it accordingly. You know, I think they like I said before, guys. I think they're trying to stress our entire nervous system, trying to get us nervous, scared all the time, keep us in this state of fear so that we get sick. I think that's what they're aiming for. It's the only thing I can think of because every day is something new. Every day they're scaring us with something, and either you're gonna fall for it or you're not, right? Anyway, with that being said, I am going to go off the air now. Trader J, it's not a little bike. It's an assault bike, my friend. You couldn't handle that shit, you and your bird lungs. Anyway, I'm going to jump on my little bike, according to Trader J. I will see a lot of you guys Monday for the AI apocalypse and what that's going to look like. More like a step-by-step of what that's going to look like. That's going to take me a couple days to write up, but it should be interesting. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out with me this late. I know a lot of you are past your bedtime, so I appreciate it. And I will see you guys Friday night for the doubleheader. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me, and see you tomorrow. See you Friday. Excuse me.